The gas station sign is not where the price begins. It is where the damage finally becomes visible. You see the number on the corner, you watch the total climb, and suddenly every normal drive feels more expensive. One week, filling up feels annoying but manageable. The next week, it feels like your budget got hit before you even left the station. That is when people start looking for one simple villain: the gas station, the oil company, the government, or the person changing the sign outside. But the number on that sign is not created in one place. It is the final result of a system that starts long before gasoline reaches your car. This is the hidden business model behind gas prices. A global commodity becomes a local necessity, and the customer feels every shock at the very end of the chain. When oil markets get nervous about war, shipping routes, refinery capacity, supply shortages, or future disruption, drivers often feel it before they fully understand the headline. The price does not wait for the story to make sense. It moves when the risk starts getting priced in. The first pressure starts before gasoline even exists, because gasoline begins as crude oil, and crude oil trades in a global market. That means your local pump price can react to something happening thousands of miles away. A war near an energy region, a damaged shipping route, a production cut, or a fear that tomorrow's oil may be harder to move than today's oil. None of that has to happen near your neighborhood for the price to react. The fuel is local when you buy it, but the risk is global before it reaches you. You are not only paying for the gasoline already in the tank, you are paying for what the market thinks fuel might cost next. That is why prices can move before the average driver fully understands what changed. The gas station sign is visible, but the oil market behind it is not. And when global risk gets more expensive, the pump becomes the place where that fear shows up. But crude oil is only the first part of the chain, because a barrel of oil is not the same thing as a gallon of gasoline. It still has to be refined, blended, transported, stored, and delivered. That matters because refining can become the bottleneck. If refineries are down for maintenance, hit by storms, switching fuel blends, or running near capacity, gasoline supply can tighten even when oil still exists. This is the part most drivers never see. More oil does not automatically mean more gasoline at your station. The system needs the right fuel, refined in the right place, at the right time, with enough capacity to move it. When that machine gets tight, the customer does not see a refinery problem. They see a higher price. The next pressure is geography, because gasoline does not move like an app update. It moves through pipelines, terminals, trucks, ports, storage tanks, and regional supply networks. That makes location matter more than people expect. Some states use special fuel blends, some regions depend on specific refineries, and some areas have higher taxes, longer delivery routes, or fewer nearby suppliers. That is why two drivers can live in the same country and pay very different prices on the same day. The national average is not one true price. It is a snapshot of many local systems moving at different speeds. A refinery issue in one region may hit nearby drivers hard while another part of the country barely notices. So when gas prices feel random, they are usually not random. They are regional. The pump looks simple, but underneath it is a map of pipelines, rules, taxes, competition, and transportation costs. Then comes the part drivers notice most. Prices often rise faster than they fall. When oil jumps, pump prices can seem to react almost immediately. When oil drops, relief can feel delayed, partial, or strangely slow. Part of that comes from replacement cost. A station may already have fuel in the ground, but it also has to think about the next delivery. If the next truckload is expected to cost more, the station may raise prices before that fuel arrives. The price is not only based on what the station already bought, it is also based on what the station expects to pay next. That makes the sign feel like it is reacting ahead of you. But when prices fall, the incentives can move differently. Stations may wait to see if the drop lasts. Distributors may still be selling higher cost inventory, and local competition may not force prices down immediately. Because drivers still need fuel, the decline can feel slower than the spike. That is why the pattern feels so unfair. The price jumps like a warning, but falls like a negotiation. Gasoline is not a normal consumer product because most people cannot simply stop buying it when the price rises. You can skip a streaming service, delay a phone upgrade, or decide not to buy fast food. But if your job, commute, family, errands, or business depends on driving, gasoline becomes a required purchase. That gives the system power, not because every station controls you directly, but because demand does not disappear the moment prices rise. People complain, combine trips, drive less, or cut spending somewhere else. But many still have to fill the tank. That is why gas shocks feel personal. The price can hurt, and the purchase still happens. A higher gas price does not only change one receipt, it changes the cost of a movement. Driving to work costs more, deliveries cost more, and groceries can cost more because construction, shipping, farming, and transportation all depend on fuel. Energy is not just another product, it sits underneath other products. So when gasoline jumps, the entire economy can feel heavier. People are not only seeing a higher number at the pump, they are seeing a warning that everything connected to fuel may become more expensive too. This is where the anger often gets misdirected, because the station is where the pain becomes visible, but it is not always where the leverage sits. Some stations operate on thin margins and make more reliable money from convenience store sales than from the fuel itself. Some oil producers benefit when crude rises. Some refiners benefit when fuel supply gets tight. And some regions get hit harder because they have fewer easy alternatives. There is not always one villain holding one lever. The pain is simple, but the cause is layered. Crude oil can spike because the world fears disruption. Refineries can tighten supply because capacity is limited. And transportation networks can raise costs before fuel reaches your area. Retailers can adjust based on replacement cost and local competition, while taxes and regional rules can make one state more expensive than another. Then the customer meets all of those forces at the same moment, at the pump. By the time you see the number, the system has already moved. That is why the price feels sudden. Gasoline is priced like a commodity, but experienced like a necessity. That gap is where the frustration lives. On paper, it is supply, demand, refining, distribution, risk, and taxes. In real life, it is the difference between filling the tank and cutting something else from the budget. The market sees a gallon. The customer feels a week of work, errands, bills, and choices getting squeezed. That is why gas prices become emotional so quickly. The number is public, but the pressure is private. Everyone can see the sign, but every household feels it differently. For one person, it means a more expensive commute. For another, it means fewer weekend trips. For someone driving a work truck, doing deliveries, or commuting long distance, it can feel like a direct pay cut. The hidden system becomes visible only when the pain reaches the receipt. So when gas prices jump fast, the real question is not only who changed the sign. The real question is what changed before the sign ever moved? Did crude oil become riskier, refinery capacity tighten, regional supply get squeezed, or driving demand rise at the wrong moment? Did the market start pricing in a future shortage before drivers saw an actual one? That is the part most people miss. Gas prices are not only a reflection of what happened, they are often a bet on what might happen next. And when the world feels unstable, that bet gets more expensive. The pump becomes the scoreboard for global risk. That does not make the higher price feel fair, but it explains why it can appear so fast. The station sign is the final display, not the starting point. The real price was shaped before the fuel reached the pump. Because once energy markets start pricing in fear, the gallon is no longer just fuel. It becomes the price of uncertainty.